To taper or not to taper? That is the discussion at hand, as you all know. So I have two articles here on Daily Silver Update that have two opposing opinions. The first being James Rickards, Why the Fed Will Not Taper, and next, the Federal Reserve is set to taper QE based on economic data. So let's start with James Rickards. James Rickards said, "I don't think it's going to happen. Certainly it's on the agenda in the sense that the Fed is talking about and thinking about it. They certainly would like to taper. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And to a great extent the markets have priced that in. I don't think the Fed actually will taper in September. In fact, I don't think they'll do it at all this year, and the reason is I'm sort of taking the Fed at their word. They said we'd like to. Tapering is the jargon. It's reducing asset purchases, but asset purchases are the way they print money. So what they are really saying is we are going to print less money." So there's a lot more here for you guys to read about what James Rickards had to say. I'll put the link down below. Next is Federal Reserve set to taper QE based on economic data. So the payrolls rose by 169,000 last month, a Labor Department report showed. The jobs report is the last one Fed policymakers will see before the September 17th to 18th meeting. So that's showing some good economic data there that they're going to be looking at. That's the last time they're going to be looking at a jobs report before they make their decision about whether to taper. So we have a forecast here by Hoffman. Maybe they do taper light, said Hoffman, the top forecaster of private payroll growth for the past 2 years, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. The headcount's weak, but the income earned from wages are longer hours is positive. To me, it's sort of a win one, lose one. So also the unemployment data is out as well. So U.S. job growth was tepid in August, but the unemployment rate ticked down to 7.3%. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Bernanke said for him to start tapering, he wants to see unemployment below 7%. So this one percentile here, the 7.3% of unemployment in August, that is actually leading me to believe that they might not taper QE, because I'm pretty sure he said he wants to see unemployment below 7%, and the fact that it's not there yet, they might use this as an excuse for why they can't start tapering. Now, I honestly agree with James Rickards here when he says tapering is just the jargon term that they're using. It's basically just a buzzword for them to kind of come out and say, hey, listen, we are thinking about scaling back this quantitative easing that has been going on. It's kind of a way for them to kind of tell the world that, this isn't going to last forever. So, we are going to be tapering sometime in the near future, but we're kind of just going to kick the can down the road as long as possible while telling people that we may reduce the asset purchases. So taper has almost turned into this term that I don't know, that's associated with the Federal Reserve and their expectation to start paring back on quantitative easing and not actually doing it. So I don't know, we'll see what happens in the September meeting. It's coming up. We find out a lot about what's going to be happening with gold and silver in the next few weeks.